What's going on, guys? Hey, I wanted to bring you a clip from the Young Turks Network, and they're talking about the whole Elon Crane situation. And again, man, to refresh everyone's memory, he's the guy that the Republican from Arizona that spoke on the House floor the other day and said colored people instead of people of color. And again, man, he did not mean any offense by this. But again, intent nowadays does not matter one bit. They had to have something to get outraged about. Everyone on the left, man, they got to find something to get an uproar, to get upset about. But again, he did not mean one bit of malice by this. Again, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter. It doesn't matter that he really did say anything wrong. He just got the words out of order, and he forgot the word of. He said colored people instead of people of color. And again, people had to have something to get outraged about. They do. But, the thing is, we have got to get to a point to where people are going to misspeak. People are going to say things a little bit wrong at times. But it doesn't mean they're racist, especially when they come back and they try to amend what they said. But it doesn't matter, man. It does not matter to people on the left. But I'm going to bring you a clip from the Young Turks Network. And again, they're talking about this, and they're all upset, they're outraged, and they're trying to prove the guy's a racist. Anyways, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below.
Amendment has nothing to do with whether or not colored people or black people or anybody can serve, okay? It has nothing to do with color of your skin, any of that stuff. What we want to preserve and maintain is the fact that our military does not become a social experiment.
So that was Representative Eli Crane of Arizona speaking to his amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act using the term colored people. That's right. The year 2023 and right out of Jim Crow. So he apparently said that he misspoke. He was asked for comment. He said he misspoke. But immediately after he misspoke, Representative Beatty did not let him she didn't miss a beat to interject and have what he said stricken. Take a look.
I'd like to be recognized to have the words colored people stricken from the record. I find it offensive and very inappropriate.
Can I amend my comments to people of color?
Mr. Speaker, to have the word stricken. I didn't ask for an amendment.
Is there unanimous consent to have the word stricken?
Yes. Without objection, so ordered.
Without objection, so ordered.
Could I get a do-over? Could I get a quick do-over? No do-overs. Okay. It was stricken from the record unanimously. Kevin McCarthy actually was asked about Eli Crane's comments there, and this is what he had to say.
Speaking of Congressman Crane, what is your reaction to his remarks yesterday on the floor referring to African Americans as colored? I know he said that he misspoke, but is that acceptable?
That's not acceptable. I'll take him at his word that he misspoke. I have never heard him use that before, so you'd have to ask him about that.
I've never heard him use that word before. That was an interesting sort of like, hey, behind closed doors, he doesn't say this, so I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a racist bone in his body. But Chang JR.
Wait, it almost implies that others do. Like he's like, oh,
right,
him.
Right.
No, I haven't heard him say it. But ask me about 28 other guys. Okay, and I like.
Don't ask him about immigrants though, because he's got other choice words.
Yeah, I like the excuse if he misspoke. Like at first I was like, misspoke how? Like, did you mean coloring people because they like to color things in? What do you mean? How did you misspeak? It's not like I meant to say black and I said colored people. I like his cover up though of like, well, people of color is what I meant. Really? Because that's that's almost a respectful term. And it didn't look like you were going in that direction, okay?
Because again, they wait around in the shadows and, they're waiting around for somebody to misspeak or say something out of place. And they're like, oh, see, they're the ones that are racist. And no, they're not, man. Again, You're the racist, man. You're the bigot. It's you. You're the one sitting around thinking about this. They're not. Again, he misspoke, man. He used the words basically out of order. Instead of people of color, he said colored people. And again, man, we have got to understand that's not the way things should be nowadays. You shouldn't say, but again, he did not intend to say that. He didn't intend to offend anyone. Again, intent matters. Or at least he used to. It used to matter. But nowadays, man, it does not really matter. They don't care. They don't care. The people like this, they automatically assume that they must be, if they're Republican, man, they must be sitting around their house. Man, again, being racist, talking bad about black people. Again, just talking bad about trans people. Again, they're sitting around doing all this stuff if they're conservative people. And it's like, no, they're not, man. Again, nobody's doing that except for you. You're the one who gets in your head. But again, you're making up about other people. You're assuming that this is what they think. It's coming from you.
And so, now look, I'm the last guy to say, bash people for misspeaking. So the question is, did he misspeak or did he not misspeak?
You're the last person to bash somebody over the head for misspeaking? No, you're not, man. You're the first. You're the first. Number one, we have to understand that's the way you make your living. The way you make your living is pouncing on people. Waiting in the dark for somebody to misspeak, to misstep, and you're going to pounce. So number one, we have to understand that. And number two, man, if anyone says, well, I'm the last one to tell somebody how to do anything. No, they're not, man. Normally they're the first. Because again, we have to understand, if you wait just a minute, man, after they say, I'm the last person to tell somebody how to do something, right afterwards, man, they'll tell you what to do. They'll tell you how to do something. So again, man, we have got to understand people like that, they're lying.
But no, I don't think he misspoke. I think he did it to get attention, because that's the game that's being played in Congress right now. Who's going to say something more outrageous, more awful, more hideous to get more media attention? And then go, oh, golly gee, did I say that word? Well, I guess I must have misspoken. So, and how do I know that? Now, of course, nobody knows for 100% certainty, but listen to the other things he was saying. He was saying, like, this idea of diversity and inclusion. What are we doing, social experiments now? Okay. So, gee, I wonder which one he meant.
We have got to understand, in no way does that benefit him. In no way. It doesn't benefit him at all to be labeled a racist. No way. So again, he's not going to say something to, for outrage, for some kind of outrageous remark or something. He's not going to. Because again, man, the left, man, they understand if they can label somebody as a racist, then, man, that might end their career. It might really hurt what they're doing. So again, they understand. Why do they label people as racist? They understand it works. That's what they're doing. And that's why, again, they're doing what they're doing right now. They're trying to discredit him by labeling him as racist. And that's what they're doing. And so in no way is somebody going to make a remark to be racist, to be outrageous on purpose. In no way.
The whole stricken from the record thing is a tiny point, but I always find it funny. Like, we all heard it. What difference does it make if you struck it from the record? But they take it so seriously. Yeah. It is now stricken from the record. It does not exist. Except for
I say leave it in, right? To remind us of the fact that we have progressed so little that people are still saying colored people, right? I do want to get to those meat and potatoes just briefly. What was the amendment Crane was pushing? And it's exactly what we've been talking about. So it prohibits, and it passed, the Defense Department from considering race, gender, religion, political affiliations, or any other ideological concepts as the sole basis for recruitment, training, education, promotion, or retention decisions. Sure, because that existed, the sole basis. We all have heard of that. The military, this is what he says, and pay attention, was never intended to be, inclusive. Its strength is not diversity, its strength, is its standards, said Crane, who is also a combat veteran. Must have been real popular. I feel like the opposite of its strength is not its diversity, is strength. Diversity is a weakness. And I think that that's what a lot of coded GOP language is around anti-woke stuff, which I would just openly call racist. It's racist legislation. And to say that our strength is not our diversity is another way of saying, no, we should all be the same. And, we're kind of flirting with Nazism here. Like, we're flirting with all sort of falling in line, being the same religion, being of the same social class.
If you're recruiting any people based solely upon race, that's wrong. That in itself, by its very nature, is racist. We have got to understand that. And again, man, people like this lady will be the downfall of this country. They really will be, because, man, again, they believe, hey, you know what, man, it's okay to recruit, man, people based on race. Well, unless it's, white people, then, it's wrong, it's evil, it's racist. But again, man, we can go out of our way to recruit other people and, based solely upon race. So again, we understand that does happen. And again, man, that is the exact words that he put in there. Solely. And again, man, do you have a problem with that? Do you have a problem with saying that, you know what, man, we're not going to base things solely upon race? We're not. Apparently you do. You do. You have a problem. And everyone up there in the Young Turks, again, the same thing. They all have a problem with that. But, again, she said it's coded GOP language to say that that diversity is not a strength. Well, yeah, diversity is not. Again, same thing with companies as it is with the military. Again, you're working towards the same goal. Again, building up that company, doing what you need to do to make the company bigger, to make it stronger. And the same thing with the military. There's a set of standards that they have to meet. Number one, we're all American. We all are American. We all have to work together as a group. Again, work together for the betterment of this country, to build and make this country safer. That is what we need to be doing, number one. And number two, there needs to be a set of standards that everyone meets with everything, including the military, including college. Everyone meets the same set of standards. That should be the way it is across the board. So again, we have to truly understand the race should not be the sole factor, number one. And no, in no way is it wrong to say that diversity is not a strength. It's not. Again, we all need to be working towards the betterment of this country, no matter what race you are, no matter what religion you are, because guess what? The enemy of this country does not care. They don't. They will find a weakness, and they will exploit that weakness. You son of a